we're here having a lovely time at InnoGames, and you've just moved into this lovely, fantastic building. I had a tour. It's beautiful, absolutely.
Thank you.
Lovely. So, why did you decide to move from your old location?
Yeah, the most simple reason is the old location was just getting too small. We have also growth plans for the future, and now we have space to continue our growth, and that's why we looked for different opportunities in the whole city. It was clear for us all the time we wanted to stay in Hamburg. It's a great city, best city to develop great games, and then we looked around for the best opportunities the city has to offer for us.
So Hamburg offers new opportunities. Could you give me some more details on what those opportunities are?
So first of all, of course, it's a nice place to live there. It's also interesting and relevant for people coming from other countries because it's a very international city. There's also the Game City Hamburg initiative. It's a cluster of companies in the gaming industry. So there's also a good exchange of knowledge, experiences, and this also helps to move forward the whole industry in Hamburg. So lots of different reasons. Also very good reachable. Good train connections. That's a lot of reasons why it's a great place.
Okay, so I want to touch on two of those points. You're talking about it being a very international city. You're expanding. I wouldn't say aggressively. I would say sort of not slowly either. Just surely.
Surely.
Yes.
Sustainable.
Yeah, sustainable. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very good word. Mobile, which is also what I'm particularly interested in, mobile has had a lot of phenomenal success stories that then turn into terrible failures. Is sort of slow growth a decision to counter this phenomenon? Or?
I mean, we are really focusing on healthy growth, and we are still growing significantly. It means on the headcount level, we are growing by more than 100 people this year. And we grow our revenues faster than we grow the number of people who work here. So it's still a lot of growth. But on the other hand, we managed to get this growth in a way that it is sustainable, that we're not thinking about only what's happening in the next day or end of the year, but we're also thinking about, okay, where do we want to be next year? How does the company look in 1 or 2 years and beyond? And how to structure this growth and make sure that everybody is also growing within this company. That goes up to the management level. Also for me, it's a challenge to grow with the company.
So you had a lot of success, I would say, early on, and you continue to have a lot of success with games that have they are from a genre that is very much of the era in which you started out. They are, PvP strategy games, very popular in Europe, Eastern Europe especially. That sort of thing. And we're talking about the future, growing, that sort of thing. Obviously your portfolio very much sticks to strategy and PvP especially in browser and mobile now. Are you concerned at all that perhaps, like, for example, let's say something that happened a lot quicker, like a Flappy Bird, for example, which was big and then went away. Are you concerned at all that this PvP strategy builder genre might someday start to lose traction with players?
So on the one hand, first, I don't see that this genre will lose traction. It's a genre which offers very, very long-term fun, especially because of this PvP elements. I mean, the players are writing the history. They are creating the story in some way, and this is a great thing which, of course, a Flappy Bird cannot offer. So this is one reason why these games we make will have also a very long-term. They're in the browser existing for more than 10 years now, and still growing, and we are more successful. Even our oldest game, Tribal Wars, is nowadays more successful than it has been ever. So probably this year will be another best year for Tribal Wars. It's still growing, our oldest game, so you see it's a really great genre. On the other hand, to grow the company as a whole, we want to extend our reach and also go to other genres. We already have some aspects which go a bit outside there. It's, for example, the West has a more role-playing character, or Forge of Empires has a more a city-building aspect. It's not so much about fighting and conquering, it's more about building something up. So we're expanding our genre and would also want to expand our audience.
Absolutely. one of the companies I would say that you're, let's say, not rivals, but certainly competition with, is a Kabam, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And although I wouldn't want you to speak about the state of Kabam or anything like that, those are companies that are very much have a lot of success in Asia. How have you found the move into Asian territories, or have you kind of tried to stick it?
Asian territories are quite different. So they are, for Western publishers, they are quite a challenge to be really big successful there. And having success to some amount is possible, but I think even until now, nobody has really made a big success, especially in the Japanese or Korean app stores. So it's a tough thing. There are cultural differences. On a short term, we are not so much focusing on it right now. We first want to be successful in Europe and the US, but on the long term, of course, we will also evaluate such opportunities.
You talked earlier about international, wanting to be international, that sort of thing, and bringing in essentially, new talent from abroad.
Yeah.
And obviously, this fantastic place will get people to come over. Is that sort of drive something that is spurred about by a want to move into newer territories? Do you bring in people from outside so you can approach people on the outside, or is it just simply a talent thing?
It's, to be honest, more talent thing. Talent is very important for us. Our requirements are very high, so we have to look on the whole world and focus on Europe, of course, to really find the best people to work for us, to make sure that we can deliver great games. And of course, it also helps with international expansion to have people with the local knowledge, but the primary focus is to get really the best talent available.
And finally, because this has been very succinct, really marvellous actually, what I'd really like to come to you about is mobile and tablet, and you got your start in browser, that sort of thing. What's been the greatest challenge that you've managed to overcome in the move to sort of portable devices?
One very big challenge, of course, is always the user experience design, and we already did a lot of stuff there, but even now there are still areas where we can improve. And it's not only about, it's unlearning some old stuff, learning new stuff, to really find the best user experience for the players. This is a challenging thing. We made really good progress there, but still, it's a completely different way how to interact with the device, and you always have to think about this. It's different in the browser.
Do people who use these devices, are they different kinds of players, do you find, or do you find that the two are quite similar?
Sometimes the same players playing on both platforms the same game, which makes sense. Yeah. I mean, then you can play from your PC, and when you leave the office, your home, you can still continue to play on your mobile device. This is great stuff. So it's the same players, but they expect to have also a great mobile user experience. And this is different than the browser user experience.
And how did you overcome this challenge?
It's iterating, building different prototypes, doing a lot of user tests with real users, getting their feedback. And of course, also when the product is live, we also learn from numbers, what works, what does not work. We get the feedback then from the real players, what do they like, what do they not like. And so we have to iterate on the products to get really the best user experience for the mobile devices.
Do I have time for one final question? Yes. Yes, fantastic. There was a brilliant speech earlier that you were part of from it's the mayor, isn't it? It's the mayor.
First mayor of Hamburg.
First mayor of Hamburg. Yeah. And one of the questions brought up by one of my British colleagues was regarding tax and breaks and help. Obviously, you've come to a city and you're in a country that doesn't have tax breaks or anything like that. But there clearly is a bit of support here for the tech industry. Are you interested in having these tax breaks as a company? Do you share the First Mayor's opinion that maybe there should be some sort of financial help? But
I share his opinion that tax should not be the first reason to do a business decision. You always have to do what's right for your real company mission. Taxes are maybe not your company mission. So you first should always focus on what's right. But of course, then on a detail level, of course it helps if you get better simplest text structures. And it's not only about text breaks, it's also about making things simple. It's also something, make bureaucracy lower, that's always helpful for us. We don't want to deal too much time on too complicated text issues. We want to focus on delivering the great games to our players.